And then why don't we go again in order, and then I'll come back for one thing. But the main event after a women's four-way, that followed a women's talking segment that was God Almighty. I'll just go to the main event. Cody and Jimmy against Tama and Jacob. And again, it's a standard match. Fatu's incredible, and most of his gets over. But it's a standard match, and they're not trying to kill each other, and the people are enjoying the out of it. And bing, bang, bang. Finally, Cody makes the big comeback and hits the dive and gets the chance and does the flip, flop, and fly. And they hit the superplex and the splash on Tama and a cutter on Jacob Fatu. And Uso hits a dive and knocks Jacob over the announce desk. And then here comes Kevin Owens down the aisleway. And Cody meets him, and boom, and they get together and they fight off. And now Jimmy's all by himself. And he spears Tama and goes to the top and hits him with a splash, but Jacob pulls him out and beats him up and then moonsaults him and pins him 1, 2, 3. And the announcers are even saying Jimmy was left all alone. And then Cody and Owens fight back into the arena, and Cody tackles Owens off of an equipment case through 2 tables, and they crash there, and they're bringing the meat wagon in as we go off the air. But I think because if they were trying to give Cody a reason not to be there so that Jacob, the heels could fuck Jimmy, then I don't know why that the announcers would accentuate Jimmy was left all alone, because that puts heat on Cody, because he chose to tackle Owens, and they said he was going to do it anytime, any place, anywhere. He was going to tackle Owens. But in the old days, people would have been going, where the fuck were you while your partner was getting beat? But the way that they said that, I'm wondering if they're leaving a little hook for later that they can play something back if Jay wanted to be the WWE champion, or Jimmy rather. You see what I'm saying to you here?
I do.
So it's just, and Cody can take the residual heat, because he did come back out, and he did, get thrown through a table, so he was occupied at the time. But they could do something with that later on. It's just a little clue to be left. Anyway. But that was the SmackDown show. What'd you think of that big main event?
It was all right. Like you said it best. It was, I don't know if you said standard. It was a fine television main event.
A fine, clean contest.
It's been a topic of conversation, so you could say it here. Not everything needs to be a 5-star match. It was a fine main event to keep furthering things along. And the fans there seemed very happy with what they were getting.
Yes. And even though most of the matches that they theoretically pay to see are okay, but the fucking interviews are great, except I will just say no more. They did a 4-girl interview that led to a 4-girl match that illustrates at least some of Uncle Dave's point that there's a lot of meaningless multiple person matches on this program. I shouldn't say meaningless, because it was all the women that want the women's title and blah, blah, blah. But that was a lot of women for a long time. But there you have that.
Yeah.
Brian, I'll tell you what, some of those women, they
I'm
might
afraid,
need to,
whatever you're thinking, why don't you go the other way? Why don't you talk about something else and someone else, or somehow, somewhere?
Some of those women, they might have boyfriends or husbands.
Yes, they may.
Yeah, see, so far, so good. They might want their boyfriends or husbands to groom themselves better. Would you say that's fair to say?
Fair to say. So far, so good. Yes.
They might want to help these men in their efforts to groom themselves. They may want to assist somehow, because the men are not doing it on their own. So then, Brian, you would say that it would also follow that the slicker and cleaner you are, the more likely that it is, as Valentine's Day is coming up, to have not only roses on your piano, but tulips on your organ.
I would say that a lot of women out there probably like their man to look very nice and clean and dapper on Valentine's Day.
Yes, and that can lead to other things. So
it could.
So in addition,
will.
ladies out there, now I can tell you how you can help your man along in having a beautiful, dashing profile, a shaven face, free of whiskers and growth, and it'd probably even work on the ears, and you might even be able to get part of this Harry's razor up your nose if you tried hard enough. But it'll take a lot of that unwanted hair off and give you the nice slick look, and you get a little collar on your shirt, and you fucking look nice on the neck there and everything. The next thing you know, you're going around the world in 80 days with a hooker in a cheap hotel somewhere. You never know what might happen. But folks, right now, Harry's has a trial kit. So you can find out what's going to happen for only $3. That does not include the companionship. But what it does include is the beautiful and deluxe razor handle that is ergonomically designed. It's weighted. It fits good in your hand, so you can just wave your hand in front of your face and instantly all the hair falls off. Depending on how many times you wave it, your lips may follow. And that's because of the 5-blade razor cartridge that is German engineered in their own factory. Achtung! They're sharper than a serpent's tooth. And you also get a travel cover and some foaming shave gel. We do not recommend that you rake these blades across your exposed skin without the foaming shave gel. That can make a lot of difference. It's normally $13, folks. Right now, it's only $3 if you go to Harry's, HARRYS.com/JCE. Harrys.com/JCE. The $13 trial set comes for just $3, and you can check out some of the other fine products. They have the skin softening body wash and the high quality, amazing smelling deodorant for just $5. Even homeless people, you could find $5 laying in the gutter. Go get you some extra strength, high quality, amazing smelling deodorant from Harry's, and people will ignore the fact that you have leprosy and you have maggots in between your toes. You're going to smell great. Plus hair and other grooming products that fit your unique look and needs. Some of you, we have come to find out, have unique looks, and you need to find some grooming products that fit those. Well, Harry's has got them for you, folks, so don't even worry about the part-time job at the county fair during fair season. You too can look normal. Harrys.com/JCE for $3. You get to look acceptable and maybe get some nookie on Valentine's Day.
Well, every day can be Valentine's Day with Harry's. One more time, that promo code.
One more time, Harrys.com/JCE. So how much excess body hair are you removing over at the 605 Wrestling News Arcadian Vanguard end of the operation this week, Brian?
No hair removal and nothing else to say there, really. Go through the archives or listen to everything. Go on Facebook, facebook.com/Arcadian Vanguard, and of course on Twitter or X or whatever it may be. Look for @Superpodcast. Of course, the wrestling news each and every day. Get your wrestling news for free without opinion, without star ratings, without conjecture. Just actual news. If it happens and it's reported, it'll be on the wrestling news each and every day. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. Get it directly from thewrestlingnews.com, wherever you find your favorite podcast. Want to make mention of Stick to Wrestling with John McAdam. They are looking now at the beginning of 1985. I can't believe to say this. 1985, 40 years ago.
Oh!
Hear that talk, McAdamPod.com, or look for Stick to Wrestling with John McAdam, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And of course, the 605 Super Podcast, The Mothership! Go through the archives at 605pod.com. I felt that one. The Mothership.